What's up? It's your boy Ghost. This is my first live stream ever, and we're about to react to strange things. Let's get into it. It's my first live stream, so I want to see if it actually works. See if it works on your side. Nah, this ain't working.
Just purely strange and unexplainable. All of the following
Sorry about that. It's not even.
Strange but true stories. Tales from the light side, the dark side, and the other side. I'm Steve White. Have you ever been in a situation where you know something is absolutely true, but nothing around you supports it? Not that you think it may be true, but you know you experienced something. Have vivid recollections about it, and yet, in your current reality, there is no proof it ever happened. Or maybe something that can't happen in a logically configured world like this happened anyway. Such is the case with the following stories. Call it a glitch, a glimpse of the multiverse perhaps, or something just purely strange and unexplainable. All of the following stories, except for one, were submitted to Strange But True from viewers like you. Registration Vexation. One morning, I went to the mailbox and found that my new car registration and sticker for the license plate had arrived. I went to the house and got a damp paper towel to wipe any dust from the license plate so that the sticker would adhere better. I placed the registration in the glove box and then attached the new sticker to the plate. While I was crouched at the rear of my car, my neighbor came up the sidewalk and kindly said good morning. I returned her greeting and then walked back to my house. At the time, I had two very large planters on the patio with small fruit trees in them. As I approached the front door, a black and white cat jumped out of one of the pots and ran across the yard. It startled me a little bit, but I didn't think much about it. 3 months later, I was driving home from the grocery store and I was pulled over by the police. The officer said that my license plate had expired 4 months earlier and asked to see my registration and proof of insurance. I was just dumbstruck as to how my license plate tag was expired. I dug around in the glove box, but couldn't find my new registration. I told the officer that I was certain that I had put the new sticker on the plate and placed the new registration in the glove box 4.5 months ago. She let me off with a warning and instructed me to look again at home and get the sticker and new registration put in the car. I thanked her and drove home feeling very confused. I ran the whole thing over in my mind, remembering distinctly the application of the sticker, the neighbor saying hello, and the black and white cat jumping out. Oh well, maybe the sticker had fallen off, but that wouldn't explain where the registration was. It was baffling. The next day, after scouring my house, I went to the DMV and sat through the morning fully expecting that
So what y'all think so far? It's crazy. But yeah.
they would find record of my payment and current registration in their computer system. But no, they couldn't find any record of what I was sure I had done months before.
That wouldn't explain where the registration.
So I paid for another registration and went home, went into the house, got a damp paper towel to wipe any dust from the plate. I then went to my car, placed the registration in the glove box, and attached the new sticker to the rear license plate. While I was crouched at the rear of my car, my neighbor came up the sidewalk and again said good morning. I returned her greeting and then walked back to my house. As I approached the front door, a black and white cat jumped out of one of the tree planters and ran across the yard, just as I had remembered 4.5 months before. Next stop, Seattle?
Whoa.
So in 2014, my daughter was in Los Angeles visiting her grandmother. I was living in Seattle at the time and was driving from Seattle to LA to pick her up and bring her home. The drive is straight down Interstate 5 from Seattle to LA. It's approximately 1,200 miles, and you can drive it straight in 24 hours or so, or break it down into 2 days, driving 12 hours a day. I've driven it before, and so on this occasion I left Seattle at around 5 o'clock in the evening, and 3 hours later I was just getting on the bridge crossing into Oregon from Washington. I was on the phone with my daughter telling her I just pulled into Oregon. I had driven to Portland many times before, so I'm on the phone with her for about 30 minutes as I'm driving south on I-5. I see a small sign in the dark that says Kalama, which is in Washington State. I was still chatting and just disregarded what the sign said, half thinking there must be a Kalama, Oregon, too. About 5 minutes later, I see another sign that says Kalama, next exit. What? I told my daughter I'd call her back. I had no idea where I was. I wasn't in Oregon anymore. I was not going south on I-5 all of a sudden. I decided to get off at the next exit and figure out where I was. I plugged in the Garmin and it told me I was heading north on I-5, towards Seattle. That was impossible. I never got off the freeway. I never took an exit. I took the only bridge there is and stayed on the freeway going 60 miles per hour on cruise control. Therefore, it would have been impossible for me to have exited the freeway, turned around.
Wow. Did y'all ever have that experience? Comment down below in the section. Let's get to it. It's just weird how he was on the right path to go to see his daughter. Next thing you know, when he looked at his GPS, he was devastated. He was not going the same way. He was going north. Mind blowing. When it comes to reality.
Around and go back over the bridge into Washington State going 60 miles per hour the whole time. I was freaked out. At least I would know if I drove that bridge again going north. I looked at the clock and it was 11 o'clock. That was also impossible, as just over a half hour ago I was entering Oregon. It was only 8. I had just lost 2.5 hours. I had just hung up with my daughter. I managed to be heading the exact opposite way of where I was a half hour ago, and I was even on the phone with my daughter less than a half hour. I looked at the time on my phone. I got back on Interstate 5 going south and had to drive another hour or so to get back to Oregon. I had lost hours, literally, and was totally turned around heading back home. I still cannot figure out what happened to this day.
Wow.
Registration manifestation. It was 1985, and I was...
Okay. I'm going to end the live stream here. Part 2 is coming tomorrow. Let me know see this the next day, let me know. Comment down below what y'all think so far. Sorry about the interruption at the beginning. Just trying to figure out how to work this. But comment down below, like this video, subscribe, and there's more coming soon. Peace.